Well, as I said, Nigeria's inflation rate increased about 9.3% according to data released by the Bureau of Statistics on Sunday. It shows that inflation edged up 0.6% month on month. To talk more about the numbers, I'm now being joined by the Statistician General himself, and no longer the technical advisor to the Statistician General, Dr. Yemi Kale. Good morning to you, Dr. Kale. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning. Thanks.
Now, looking at those numbers, did you expect an increase in August inflation data considering the non-movement that we saw in the headline figure for July?
Well, yes. We've been expecting, we're expecting some movement in the last few months. It wasn't particularly surprising given some decisions that were taken. Particularly if you look at the numbers, you see that there was a huge imported inflation component. Particularly in rice, imported rice, semolina, and so on, which we were expecting from some of the items that were restricted from from importation. So there was not. I don't think it was a lot of. It was a surprise. We have been seeing that despite the fact that petrol prices have been coming down over the last 3 months, there's still a factor. We noticed that education, for example, the school season is starting in September. So you see rises in education and education-related items like stationaries and so on. So we're expecting that ordinarily there will be a rise during this period, in addition to some of the decisions that were taken, particularly affecting some imported food items.
Well, we also saw that there was an increase in the core and food sub-index. Let's talk about the food index a little bit. It rose about 10.1%. Now, in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, we've seen that there hasn't been so much rains and not so much of food produce has been coming out from the rural areas. Is this what was responsible for the increase? Yes,
that was partly responsible. Like I said, we've seen shortage, well, not exactly shortages, but reduction in food supply. At the same time, we are seeing pressure on certain imported food items, particularly rice. If you look at even catering services, when we ask the questions, why are catering service prices rising? One of the things I highlighted was increases in the prices of rice, for example. So both in terms of locally produced food as well as imported food, we are seeing some pressure in those areas.
So is this an indication that inflation could be heading north?
Well, we hope not, but we believe that in Nigeria, most of the time, a lot of this, the impacts and the speed in which some of these things occur, the lag is usually, it's actually quite slow, but we are beginning to see some pressure. Now, I think it depends on what the monetary authorities will decide to do. It's difficult to say whether or not to go up or go down going forward. But holding everything constant, it looks as if it might still keep going up for a few months. But again, that depends on what the authorities decide to do. Anything they decide to do might lead to controlling inflation or having it keep going higher.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kale, for joining me on the program. That's the much time we have for this conversation. Hope to have another one with you very soon.
Thank you very much.